Hi and welcome to Newzmate. Newzmate is a content marketing cloud that is helping content-driven businesses to increase revenue and optimize cost by personalizing audience experience and automating content delivery. So congrats with the first step, signing up to Newzmate dashboard. So you can experience how to increase audience engagement and drive more revenue on a complete autopilot. Before we dive into the explanation of the dashboard, let me give you a short explanation of where Newzmate can help you with. The foundation of our product is to make customers relevant to the end users. Therefore, we built a personalization engine powered by machine learning that is leveraging user behavior and content semantic analysis data to understand individual readers' interest and then turn this knowledge into personalized content recommendations that can be delivered via different channels, helping our customers to drive audience engagement, grow core audience, and increase revenue. Second area where our customers see a game-changing benefits is email marketing automation. We built Newzmate for content-driven businesses. As a result, we've created a workflow that helps to put the whole process of mailing list growth, quality assurance, relevant content selection, emails assembly, and delivery at the best time for each subscriber on a complete autopilot. That pushes the costs down dramatically and helping companies have more time on strategic decisions and optimization, rather than simply managing tools all the time. And one more area is direct monetization capabilities. This is where we apply our personalization technology to commercial content, to make real-time decisions about what to show to whom, based on individual users' interests, location, device, and many other targeting criteria, to ensure that your users will get the most relevant branded content or advertising with the highest conversion. Now, when you have an understanding of what Newzmate can do, let me explain how we can do that. The first step in your newly created account setup process, once you added a website, is sources management. This is where you can easily connect Newzmate with content management system of your website without any developer's work. So let me switch to the demo account and show you how it works. Just click Add New Source, enter the link to RSS feed and click Create. After that, Newzmate will add a feed in the system and will regularly check it to ensure that we're in sync with everything you have published. Next step is to specify the way how to deliver your content to the audience. So let's go to email campaigns. Click Create Campaign to launch a campaign wizard. And on the first screen, let's specify the campaign name. From name that your subscribers will see in the inbox. And subject line. As you can see, here we have a dynamic configuration of subject line that contains the title of the most relevant story, current date, and email address of the user. This ensures unique subject line for each subscriber that will lead to higher open rate and better deliverability of your emails. Last, the email for the feedback from your users. Next, email template configuration. Here you have a variety of the best performing templates to choose from, as well as the option to build a new template from scratch. Let's pick one of my favorite templates and take a closer look at the configuration process. While email editor is opening, it is important to mention that Newzmate provides a new level of automation and flexibility of content selection. You can build a template where content selection in different blocks will be controlled by automated rules and wouldn't require any manual input. But if you need, you can have a fully manual content selection as well as combination of both. Now let's take a look at email editor. On the right side, we have an email preview with the actual content, and on the left, the list of various blocks that form the template structure. By unlocking the list, you can change the order of blocks, duplicate the blocks, and even delete the one that you do not need. And of course, you can add new block, for example, dynamic blocks. is one, you need to automate content selection, take the content from the RSS feeds, or via visual editor, you can work with the content with text and styles as in Microsoft Word, as well as insert ready-to-use HTML, for instance, the tag from DoubleClick for publishers. But let's stop here for the moment on dynamic blog, the one that we see here with the content, because this is something that you didn't see in other products on the market. When we click on the blog and get to the blog setting, first thing you see is the list of available content sources that you can change on the blog level. So let's switch here to the different one and click Save. As you can see, it instantly renders the email with content from the selected source. Next, we can change all the regular look and feel settings, both on the blog level, like grid structure, and also on the item level, like layout, size of images, fonts, colors, and many other stuff. And the last tab is the most interesting one. Here you can specify content selection rules. So you're able not just specify from which source take the content, but also how to filter it out. For instance, it can be recommended for each user, so every subscriber will get unique content selection based on individual interest. Most thread is based on group-based analysis and include the most popular stories from the feed. Latest take content based on publication date in chronological order. And in case your editorial team wants to have a complete control over content order in the email, you can accomplish that with the ordered content selection rule. In addition, Newzmate picks only new content based on the newsletter's frequency. For instance, if it's a daily newsletter, we will select the stories published in the last 24 hours. It also excludes duplicates between blogs, previously sent stories, and even stories that the user already seen on your website. As a result, you get fully automated newsletter that contains only fresh, relevant content for each subscriber. Next step is schedule. Here you have an option to send emails on a recurring basis by specific days and within specific time frame that also personalized for each subscriber. Newzmate applies here user activity data to adjust delivery time based on usual activity of your users to make sure that when he opens the inbox, your email is on top. Recurrent immediately pushes the content as soon as it was published in the feed. For instance, if you want to send breaking news email. Triggered is based on the event of new user addition to the mailing list, so you can use any type of user events handled on your end and push their emails with any type of user data to Newzmate to trigger different type of campaigns, for instance, welcome emails or purchase confirmations. And one time is a familiar old school format where you need to specify date and start time and push the content once, for instance, if you want to make some promotion. And the last step in that process is mailing list. Here you can create a new one and import emails from the CSV file or enter emails manually. Or you can attach an existing mailing list to the campaign. Now we have a ready-to-use, fully automated email campaign, but as I mentioned earlier, you're in control and can always change everything or add content manually if you need. The next question is how you can grow your mailing list 10 times faster, because no matter how relevant your emails, if there is no one to send them to, the outcome will be poor anyway, right? So with Newzmate, you're covered. We provide 3 types of forms: pop-up, the best performing one, anchored, and embedded. Plus, we have an API, so you can use our own forms, landings, or registration processes and just send emails and mailing lists on our end via API. Let's take a quick look at pop-up settings. Here you can easily change look and feel, like for example, color, size, maybe add an image. You can of course change the wording and add a checkbox to get a user consent for the subscription. And most interesting part of forms is behavior control. You can adjust your different triggers and events for whom to display, like to show it after a specific timeout or scroll, whether to display it by exit intent, show it after a specific number of page views, and even if the user closed the widget without subscription, after how many days show it again. As a result, you can make these forms not annoying but at the same time very efficient. And from our experience, this type of pop-ups can generate in 10 times more subscribers compared to static forms. The third service is focused on creation of unique and relevant user experience directly on the website, as our goal is to increase engagement and loyalty of your audience. So on-site personalization. Let's check how the widget looks like. The setup is very similar to what we've seen so far. You can also control the sources of the content for recommendations. So we can also change it here and click Save. Next, you can completely change look and feel. Change the width, the grid, all the styles. Basically, the point here is to give you complete control over the content and its look on your website, but at the same time personalize content selection for each visitor. An important part of Newzmate personalization engine is the ability to use it via API. So instead of loading third-party widgets, you can provide content recommendations for different parts of the website for each visitor via API, and you will load them using your front end. As a result, you can create a completely individual user experience that will increase overall audience engagement and internal traffic. The very last step is integrations. Here you can create an integration code, and next in the settings you can attach your opt-in forms or on-site recommendation widgets, enable after you're done, and copy and paste this integration code on your website, for example via Google Tag Manager. And that's it. The same integration code will not just show a different type of widget, but also will gather user interest data for future content recommendations. Now you have a fully automated process in place that enables you to personalize your audience experience on the website and in the emails, as well as make it easier for your team to manage the process. In case you have any questions, just contact our customer success team and we would love to help you. Cheers!